Back to some cardio and consciousness with your host, me, yours truly. It's very late where I am. Oh, something fell, so I'm gonna fix it. It's very late where I am. It's about 9:30, but you know what? We got to do our cardio and work on our expanding our consciousness. So get on your bike, get on your treadmill, start doing some jumping jacks, and let's do this together. Today's discussion. Sorry about the tiredness. A little sleepy. It's 9:25 where I am, so we're gonna be here for another 30 minutes. But today's discussion will be on something that came into my mind last night after I meditated. And it was in regards to a person in my life who I have a very hard time with. And anyways, right before I went to bed, source, spirit, my inner being, just whispered to me, loving somebody else doesn't hurt you. Resisting loving somebody else hurts you, right? Love does not hurt you. Resisting love hurts you. Now, when we talk about the law of attraction, talk about emotions, love is the highest vibrational frequency we can be at. Gratitude, that feeling of love, appreciation, joy, bliss, right? That heart warmth, that eagerness, right? That joy for others and for the world. That is the highest vibrational frequency that we can exist at. When we are in that frequency, all things that we desire come into our experience. When we resist that frequency, we resist it through our other negative emotions. We call them negative emotions, but they are just emotions on the lower vibrational scale, such as fear, such as anger, such as hatred, such as depression, despair. All these are very low vibrational frequencies. But the resistance, so those vibrational frequencies are resistant to the vibrational frequency that you'll want to be on to manifest your desire. Excuse me. However, the reason that you are resisting them is through your own thoughts, words, actions, beliefs. Those are the resistant catalysts. So the emotion is just the indication that you are in a resistant state. And so when you were using love as a verb, when I am actively aiming to love somebody through my thoughts, through my words, through my actions, when I am aiming to project love towards somebody, it does not matter if that person receives your love. You can still think loving thoughts of an individual who you have a very hard time with in your life experience. You can still act in a loving way from a distance. You do not have to be up in that person's face telling them, I love you, I love you, I love you. And this can come in any ways. This doesn't have to be romantic relationships. This can come in just friendships. Can come in family relationships. You know, somebody that you care for, or you'd hope to care for, who's a very, usually this is families and close friendships, who is, you have a hard time with. Right? A hard time understanding them, accepting them. Maybe they treat you in a way that you don't feel you should be treated. I know for me, that's a big one. But it doesn't matter. The gist of this, we're going to talk about this more, but the gist of this is it doesn't matter that they don't like you. It doesn't matter that they don't treat you the way that you should be treated. You love fearlessly like Jesus told us anyways. Right? You love them anyways. That's a freaking hard practice. It's the parable of the monk and the scorpion. Monk is walking along the path. He sees a scorpion drowning in the stream. He goes to pick up the scorpion. The scorpion stings him. He drops it. He picks him up, drops it, stings him, drops it, picks him up again. Finally, that third or fourth time, he's able to get the scorpion out and he throws it and he's on his way. And this man sees the monk being stung in the hand, and he says, "Excuse me, sir, can I ask you, you got stung like 2 or 3 different times trying to help that scorpion out of the water. Why didn't you just let it drown when it stung you the first time?" And the monk said, "Because scorpion's nature is to sting. My nature is to help." Excuse me. There are people in our lives whose nature is always to sting you. I have somebody close to me in my life like that. What do? This has been a thing for me for the last 6 days. This has been a thought on my head, on my mind for the last 6 days. How do I allow that scorpion? Do I just need to completely remove that scorpion from my life? Is that what I need to do? And so as I've been mulling this over, I found that for me, removing the scorpion from my life causes pain to other people around me, right? And I do not want to do that. And if I remove that scorpion from my life and I just say, I don't care about that person, I don't want to hear about that person, I don't want to see that person, what that does is it allows that individual to dictate my behavior. I'm allowing that individual to dictate who I become. And so if my nature is to help and my nature is to love, as those of you who are watching this are right now, you have to ask yourself, who is it that I want to be regardless of their opinion or their perspective of me? Who is it that I want to be? Right? Do I want to embody the Christ consciousness? Do I want to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's late, sorry, I'm tired. Do I want to mimic my life, trace my life after that master we call Jesus, who said, when your neighbor strikes your cheek, turn the other cheek so that he may strike that as well. His suggestion was to love fearlessly, right? His suggestion was to love fearlessly. Buddha, the other master who came 530 years before Jesus, said, love freely, right? Do not grasp to how you're going to receive the love back. Don't grasp how others are going to perceive the love. Don't grasp and want others to like you when you are emitting love, when you are sharing love. That master said, love freely, love with an open palm, right? If you love a butterfly, if you care for a butterfly, you don't even have to deeply love the butterfly. But if you care and you're honoring this butterfly, do you grasp onto it? Do you hold it, expecting that it looks at you a specific way and talks to you a specific way, stays in your hand forever? No, you love freely. You allow the butterfly to be who it is, and you say, I will allow you to go on your own journey, and I will love you anyways, right? But you model these two, that's what the word I was looking for, model. We model these two, Jesus and Buddha, together. When we model them together, we have this deep, deep power. We love fearlessly and we love freely. And we do not care how other people perceive us. When we do this, what we are doing is we are acting purely authentically with our soul. We are aligning vibrationally, frequency-wise, with our inner being, with our soul. And when we do that, all things that we desire come into our lives. That's how we heal. If I am feeling sick in this moment, if I'm feeling ill, if I'm having a hard time in my physical vessel, when I stop trying to be something other than who I am, right? When I love freely, when I love fearlessly, and I say, it doesn't matter how anyone responds to me, you are purely free, you are vibrationally aligned with Source, with your inner being, and in that way, the healing must come about. that which is like unto itself is drawn. When you are in the vibrational frequency of being the healed, healthy individual, what happens? The health, the healing naturally flows in. It flows freely in, right? That's how we heal. For me personally, I know that I hold this idea that I want people to perceive me a particular way. I say so often that I don't really care how people perceive me, but that's not true. I want people to like me. You watching this may want people to like you, right? You say I don't, but in your heart of hearts, you want to be included. I heard this the other day, that when we're doing that, and I can resonate with this, that's not truly loving somebody. That's narcissism in a love costume. I like that. When I behave a specific way because I want somebody to like me, because I want somebody to love me and mirror the love that I'm sending out, that's narcissism in a love costume. I'm not freely giving that love, allowing the individual to do what they will with it, right? I'm not freely emitting that. I'm emitting it, anticipating a response. And if I don't get that response, if I get a negative response, what do? I suffer. I was so furious this past Saturday because of the response I had to trying to be a good person, to doing what I felt in my heart was the right thing to do. And when I did that, it backfired on me and it infuriated me. I went from happy and maybe not joyful and blissful, but I went from happy, an upper elevated emotional state, vibrational frequency, to rage and anger, down at the bottom, literally in less than 5 minutes, because I let the thoughts flowing through my mind dictate my conscious mind, right? The subconscious beliefs I have about this individual in my life who has caused me a lot of emotional discomfort, I want to say disease, emotional discomfort. I allowed this person to dictate my thoughts based upon the actions that I put forward that I felt were heartfelt and honest and loving. And so what does that tell me, right? It told me, I didn't know this that first day, Saturday. Sunday, it helped me a lot because I was able to disconnect a little bit from it. But what it said was exactly what I'm telling you. My inner being was saying, you are so disconnected from where I am, because even though right now this person is behaving this way, as Abraham says, your inner being loves you and it loves everybody else too. Source loves you and loves everybody else too. And so if we are to align with Source, with God, with our inner beings, to manifest the health that we are asking for, we have to align with where they are, right? And where they are is, right now, I am not loving that person. But guess what? My inner being is. Right? My inner being's here. I love them regardless. And here I am saying, you need to behave a specific way. You need to see me in a particular light, right? You need to have a certain perspective of me because I'm acting righteously, or else I don't like you. And so I'm in disconnection with my inner being. So what is the process? For me, it's I have to be that authentic version of myself, that childlike version of myself that just simply wants to love people because they're human beings, because they're extensions of myself, right? We're all extensions of the one Source. I need to act in accordance with who I feel that I truly am, not caring about their response or how they then perceive me afterwards, right? It's the idea of presenting the package on someone's doorstep. I can't wait and observe their reaction to the present once they open the door. I have to just present the package knowing that I did what I felt was the right thing to do. Can I cut them off? Sure, if that feels right. Like, I think we don't have to not have boundaries, right? We're allowed to have boundaries in our love. Time to get up and shake it out. We get to have boundaries. We get to share love. Got to pick out the wedgie, but we have to be honest with ourselves. So if authentically, you want to have boundaries, you want to set a barrier to entry, if you will, saying, look, I'm going to be authentic and honest with myself, and I'm going to share love regardless of your behavior. However, right, I'm going to help the scorpion out. But if I've been stung 3 or 4 times, right now, I do not want to get stung anymore. I get to wish you well from a distance. Right? I get to wish you well from a distance. I get to set boundaries and say, well, you know what? I'm not going to harbor any anger towards you because that does me no good. If I harbor anger towards you, what it does is it just hurts me. Buddha said, being angry is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. There's no room for anger in my heart because of your behavior. It is my choice to hold love for all beings, right? Loving kindness. May all beings be happy, or be happy, and have the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from misery and the causes of misery. And I forget the other 2, but these are part of the 4 immeasurables, right? May all beings be happy and have the causes of happiness. This is my heartfelt wish for the world, right? You wish this for the world. It's just that when you interact with certain people, they either don't treat you the way that you think you should be treated, which is fair, right? We can have that discussion. They behave in a way you wouldn't behave. There's a lot of other factors involved in there too. But when somebody does not respect the boundaries that you put for yourself, it doesn't mean that you have to love them less. It means that your interactions with them can be minimized. And so we have to honor our true feelings, not our ego. This is where it gets a little sticky. My ego wanted to disconnect fully from the individual that was causing me this suffering, that was causing me this discomfort, this uneasiness, this negative emotional vibration that was taking me away from my healing. And I said, I have to choose me. I have to choose me over that person, right? I have to choose me. They're not important to my healing. They're not important to me in the scheme of things, right? They're just an individual in my journey. But this individual may be a very important teacher on my journey. Not that I have to interact with them for them to be a teacher, right? They've been a teacher for quite a while in my life. And I can take the lessons that they've blessed me with, and I can still hold reverence and love for them and wish them nothing but happiness. Wish them freedom from misery, right? Be excited for their wins. But that last one, equanimity, I have to have a steadiness of mind. And so this person may be a master teacher for me when it comes to having steadiness of mind, steadiness of heart. To not take anything personally, right? One of the 4 agreements, one of them is, the 4 are always do your best, never take anything personally, never make assumptions, and be impeccable with your word. So if I am impeccable with my word, right, and then I hear that person's words and it hurts my feelings because I did my best, right? I did my best. I acted in love. And it backfired. It didn't backfire on me. It has nothing to do with me, right? I can't take anything personally. It has to do with that individual's perception of how it was given. If I'm being honest, if you're truly being self-reflective and you're asking, was I aiming to hurt this individual and you weren't? Was I aiming to be generous and be loving and be kind? Then you did nothing wrong. You did everything right. If you acted from your heart, and when you made that decision, you took that action, you said those words, and you felt a warmth in your chest, a true feeling of joy when you spoke those words, then you acted in alignment with God, with Source. But you and I, we cannot heal if we allow others to dictate our vibration. And they dictate our vibration by us not giving the freedom to them to allow them to behave in the way that they choose. Right? When I act in a specific way and expect other people to respond the same way to me, that's narcissism in a love costume. I love that saying. I'm going to put the video from where I got that in the description down below so you can check that out. It's a great video. It really helps me, and I'll try to listen to it every week or two. But we can't go around dictating how others respond to us. When we go around dictating how others respond to us, we are continuing to grasp, right? We're continuing to hold on to how others should behave for us to feel good about ourselves. It's not wrong of us to ask the people we care about most, to respect our feelings. There's nothing wrong with that. That's setting those healthy boundaries. But if that individual who may not be as close to you as your intimate partnership or your brothers, sisters, parents, children, if somebody's not that close to you, their behavior does not matter in your life. Your coworker's behavior does not matter in your life. You still get to extend love towards that individual and be kind and compassionate and not interact with them. You get to set that boundary. And if that person so happens then to respond to that and match that vibration because they're finally open and in a space where they can match that vibration, then great. But per the law of attraction, if you continue to interact with that person in a particular way, I personally take it upon myself to change my vibration about that person. I have a very difficult time writing in the book of positive aspects about an individual that I'm having a very hard time with. That's Abraham's tactic. They say, write in your book of positive aspects and just start writing all of the positive things about the individual that you're having the most difficult time with, because then you orient yourself vibrationally to the best parts of them. And so vibrationally, if that person is not acting in accordance with that vibration, they will zig while you zag. That is the law of attraction. I can tell you, I don't have that clear of a vibration with particular people in my life. I have too difficult of a time not seeing them as who they used to be and who they continue to show themselves as. And when I am reminded of that, I cannot change it. So for me, my boundaries are, I love them from a distance. I will send love to you, and I will think loving thoughts, I truly do, from a distance. But for the meantime, I have to separate myself from physically interacting with those individuals so that my vibration can settle. Right? If I'm a tornado, a class 5 tornado, the momentum is spinning fast on that person, right? And it takes time to allow that tornado to settle. And so that's, for me, the best practice, is to allow the vibration, the tornado, to calm so the momentum settles, and then I can revisit that person. And then once I feel that my vibration is more calm with them, I can interact with them individually, one-on-one person, in person. But until then, for me, the best thing that works is loving them from a distance. It does not hurt us to love them from a distance. It hurts us to resist the love, right? When we allow those other people to dictate our emotional state, our vibrational state, we are going to manifest something that matches that lower vibrational frequency. That's the law of attraction, right? We're not creating it. we're just resisting the flow of goodness coming into our lives. We're resisting the flow of love. So, my suggestion, because that's what I am now beginning to practice, is that instead of resisting the flow of love, that we love them anyways, right? Like I said in the beginning, we marry Jesus and Buddha's teachings, and we love people fearlessly and freely. I love people fearlessly. I don't care how you respond to me. I don't care how you talk to me. I'm going to share love with you because that is my nature. And I'm going to love you freely enough that I allow you to behave in a way that you want to behave in, while I set healthy boundaries. While I say, I will love you freely and allow you to be who you are from a distance. And my hope for you is that you begin to see the love that's within you so that you no longer have to act out towards me. Healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. We can do this with anybody in our lives. But it really is easier to do it with people that we don't have a lot of care for, that we don't have a lot of contact with. It's much easier. I love when Abraham says, if somebody called you up that you didn't know and said, hello, I know you don't know me, but I just want to let you know that I'll never be speaking with you again. You would say, okay, have a nice day, see you later, bye. But if somebody that you really cared for, your intimate partner, your parent, your child, and they said, hello, Zach, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I will never be speaking with you again, you'd be very hurt. We have more of an emotional connection, an emotional attachment to those people. And so obviously we're going to have larger emotional responses to people that we care about, and especially people that we're putting effort into, than people that we have no contact with, we don't care about, etc., etc. And so it's our task, because we can't ask others to change for us, right? We can ask others, we can tell others what our boundaries are. We are free, and we should be expressing our boundaries with other individuals, but we can't ask for others to change for us to be happy. That's attachment. We can say to others, these are my boundaries, and if they get crossed, then we will have to change something about this dynamic, about this relationship. We may have to dissolve it. I may have to take a step back, whatever. But those are all healthy ways about going about things. The healthiest way is having first looking within yourself, asking yourself why this is so hurtful to you when you're interacting with this person, and then having a discussion, hopefully an open, healthy dialogue with that individual. If that does not occur, you may have to have a third party intervene so that you can have an open, clear discussion where you're expressing your feelings, expressing the feelings of hurt, all that, with that individual, if you want that relationship to be as close and intimate as it is. But yeah, that's just our talk. Thanks for listening. I'm just going to stop us in the next 20 seconds. Thanks for listening. That was more just me venting and getting some of my own thoughts on my own experience with you guys. I hope it helped you. Hope it resonated with you. Yeah, right? For me, I know that the process is to love freely and to love fearlessly. That's what aligns most with my heart. I hope it aligns with your heart, because at the end of the day, we are one soul, right? The unified soul. We are unified consciousness, experiencing the world through different eyes, through different vessels. And yeah, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. Comments and questions and concerns down below. And until our next video, remember, from the council, from them, through me, to you, you are safe, you are loved, you are protected, and you are worthy. God sees you as worthy all the time, exactly as you are, and loves you exactly as you are. So be that, right? That's our process. Be that example for others. And if they can't receive that, wish them well anyways, right? Give them your love and be on your way. All right, my friends, I love you so much. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Until then, be well, my friends. Bye.